So these are your notes on parallel and perpendicular lines. Your learning targets are to determine if a line is parallel or perpendicular by looking at its equation, and to create a line parallel or perpendicular to a given line and a given point. So two important words to be able to know and be able to kind of manipulate: parallel lines, so lines that don't touch, if you needed a picture, my picture's not that great, but there's one, and there's two. If you think about these lines on a graph, if you notice, this one might have a different y-intercept than this one, but their slope, they're up and they're over, right? Their rise and their run would have to be the same for them to never touch, right? This would have to go up 2 over 3 every time. This would have to go up 2 over 3 every time for them to never touch. So what you need to know about parallel lines is that they have the same slope. That's the important part. Remember, slope is m. So this is what you really need. Perpendicular lines are lines that meet at 90 degrees. So they intersect each other. One could go straight up and the other one could go straight left to right. It could be a little bit slanted, but where they touch is always 90 degrees. I'm trying to draw a little box. That's how you signify 90 degrees. What's important here, and this is a little bit more than just slopes are the same. Slopes are negative reciprocals. So what that means is if you had a slope of positive 2 over 3, a slope that would be perpendicular to that would be negative 3 over 2. Negative just means the opposite sign. They won't always be negative. If the first slope is negative, the perpendicular slope will change to positive. So this changed signs, and the numerator and denominator switched. That's what reciprocals mean. So if I gave you a slope of 4, a perpendicular slope would be negative, I need a different sign, 1 over 4. Because remember, I could always put a 1 here. If I had a slope of negative 2/5, my perpendicular slope would be positive 5 over 2. So that's for perpendicular slopes. Remember, parallel slopes would be the same. So if I have a slope of 3 and it's parallel, my next slope would also be 3. So let's do some examples of the first learning target, just deciding if they're parallel or perpendicular. So right here, I just want to know, are they parallel, perpendicular, or, which is always an option, neither. So your first step is to come up with the slopes. That's step 1. Find slopes. If it's already in y equals mx plus b, my slope here is 3 because it's the coefficient of x. It's the number in front of x. And here my slope is also 3. Since my slopes are equal or the same, that means that these lines are parallel. Over here, and I'm sorry, I didn't see an X there.